welcome back to Near Dark Podcast, episode 97. Today we're gonna talk about Death Forest, but before we do that, we're gonna check in on the crew. And today I'm here with Zombie and Joseph, and I am your host, Blue.
Hello.
Hi.
How's everyone doing?
Shit.
I'm just a bit mentally tired, not like bodily tired.
I'm sorry, did you just say like, shit?
Yeah. I
Oh
think
my
you did.
god.
I was just
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for your reaction. Now I've had a really shitty fucking week, and
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
I
not looking forward
noticed.
to the next week. So and I haven't slept barely anything this fucking weekend, so I'm in a pretty piss poor mood. But
I mean,
yeah, the show
honestly, like,
the show must go on, you know.
like looking at what's been going on all week, I definitely understand the frustration, like, and how hard it is to actually get to sleep.
Yeah, not just
Um,
that, but my fucking boss is being a fucking asshole as well. So,
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
yeah,
He's
yeah, well,
he's a piece of work.
yeah, real. But yeah,
Just that kind of boss.
what did you say, zombie?
Is it just that kind of boss?
Well, not really him, but for once he is acting like a real fucking jerk.
Hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes next week, but I'm not
Yeah.
looking forward to it. But yeah,
Understandable.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yes. How are you doing, Blue?
I'm really alright. I've had a decent week. I've just had some. I reconnected with an old friend, and we've had a little bit of a issue that's really like, it's very private, and it's just an issue. I've been in a little bit of a bad mood over it.
Hmm.
But overall, I'm pretty alright. I've been binge playing Skyrim for the past 2 weeks. I've logged like 75 hours or something.
Wow.
Fucking
Maybe
hell.
80 hours. It's like,
Me.
so I was like talking about that. Oh, I want to buy Persona 5 when it came out on Steam. And well, both Zombie and my boyfriend was like, well, you should maybe consider playing the games you already have first. And I'm like, fine. And I promised, like, okay, I'm gonna play through 10 games and preferably finish all of them. Like, if they don't have achievements, I play through them once, beginning to end. If they have achievements, I'm gonna finish all the achievements. I have played through 3 games so far.
Nice.
So I'm not allowed to buy more games.
Speaking of games, I've been playing God of War Ragnarok, or Ragnarök, as it's pronounced.
As it
really.
were.
Yeah, I've been playing. I think I'm about 20 hours into the game, and fucking hell, is it good! Oh my god.
I've actively avoided.
Yeah, I'm not
watching
gonna
anything.
spoil anything, but it's. I mean, I'm a die-hard fan of the God of War series, and I love the
Yeah.
6 first games. But I think 2018 is a really good game, but it's not as good as the previous games. But I think Ragnarök is probably up there with the others, the earlier games.
I mean, I watched you play a lot of the first 3 original games, and then I watched. He's called Dance Gaming on Twitch. For those who doesn't know him, you should really look him up. He's a good streamer.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched most of his playthrough. Then I watched a friend of mine called Rojo Mage or Rojo Mage on Twitch play it back when we were dating. and I like the game and I look forward to playing it. It's just like I have so many other games I'm gonna get through first. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
actively avoiding Ragnarok for the sole reason that like I wanna experience it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
like for the first time without
Yeah,
any other influence of like, oh, when is this gonna happen? When is this gonna
mm.
happen?
But it's like I haven't seen a lot of streamers play it. Like usually when a new game comes out that's hyped,
Yeah.
everyone plays it.
On my follower page, there's been like 15 different streamers streaming Ragnarök. So, and even and some of them even started streaming it the day before it was released. So
Wow.
you know, the biggest streamers that get pre-copies of games to stream. Which I
Yeah, just hype
personally,
people up.
yeah, which I personally think is fucking bullshit. Because if I want to play a game, why would I watch a streamer play that game if I want to play it myself?
Yeah,
Yeah,
publicity.
I mean, sure, it's free. What's it called?
Advertisement.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I think it's horseshit that some streamers, or rather the bigger streamers, get free copies of games.
yeah, or otherwise they just have the chance to like buy them before everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't really care. Like for me, it pushes me as a buyer a little bit away from it. That like, yeah, everyone else can stream it whenever they want, whatever. But I might not be that interested in watching it, and if I watch a game, I might lose interest in buying it because I already know the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Some games are like, I'm definitely gonna play it, but I don't want it spoiled. But when I have played it, I enjoy watching it. Like Dead Space, for once, that's a game I enjoy watching more than I enjoy playing it. I've played most of it, like I'm on the last, I think, 2 chapters or something. And yeah, the story is good and all, but I didn't really enjoy playing it as much as I was enjoying our friend Arcadia play it. But he's also like a huge Dead Space nut, so I guess it like makes it better. But for Ragnarok, I'm just like, nah, I don't really want to see anyone play it. I want to play it myself. Same as like Assassin's Creed Valhalla when that came out. I wanted to play it on my own. But I'm also a PC gamer. I'm not gonna get a console to play a video game.
Is it that released for PC?
It is, but it's not on Steam. It's on Ubisoft, and I'm not.
No, fuck that. Fuck that.
Like, I'm not dealing with having 50 million.
No, I totally agree with you.
Clients.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit.
To me, like having 3 different clients is like having a PC, a PlayStation, and a Xbox at the same time. But I want to play my games on PC because that's what I enjoy.
I think I have 4 launchers: GOG, Galaxy, Steam, EA's launcher. I can't remember what it's called. Origin, it's called. And Activision Blizzard's launcher for Diablo, StarCraft. I don't think I have anything else besides StarCraft 1 and 2 and Diablo 3 on there. But they got, World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3 Reforged and so on there. So and I think that the latest Call of Duty games are on there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, the absolute latest.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's horseshit that you need 50 different fucking launchers just because you want to play 1 or 2 games on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was So I got Steam, I got Origin, and I do have Blizzard, and I recently was, well, I'm a little bit trying to get back into World of Warcraft, but I still don't want to support the company for the sole reason that, like, the shit they pulled on their employees with the sexual harassment shit. Yeah, this is over a year ago, but I still don't want to sponsor them with any.
It's still going on there, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I still don't want to like give them money because stuff. But my friend that I reconnected with, he is a huge World of Warcraft player. He loves it. So I'm like, well, maybe I can try and get into the game a little bit so we can hang out and play World of Warcraft sometimes. But I still prefer Final Fantasy. But it's I don't know. That's why I don't want Ubisoft, but I want Assassin's Creed Valhalla because it's a great game. I downloaded it when it was free for a weekend. I played the beginning mission. It feels great, it looks great, it plays great, the story is interesting, and I'm obsessed with Vikings, and as a Asgardian, I just want to enjoy it because, yeah, it's not accurate to the beliefs or what we know of them, but it is based on of the gods, and that's interesting to me.
The God of War series isn't really accurate either, so. But I mean, it's a power fantasy, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not like I'm gonna be mad about because a small spoiler, like you get to meet Fenrir, the World Eater. No, wait, no. Jotun, the fucking worm Jotun was the World Eater, I believe, or was it the other way around?
The serpent.
Yeah, the serpent. Yeah. Well, anyways, it's like it's not historically accurate because he's supposed to be massive, and in the game he's like two men long or something. Whatever. Anyways, going back to the actual topic. Yeah, no, so I've been playing a lot of Skyrim. I'm working through all the achievements. I have 27 of 75 unlocked, but most of them are like story bound or it's like very time consuming.
Yay, grind the achievements.
Yeah, like one of them is hit level 50. I'm 42 right now, and I've played almost 80 hours, I think.
Ooh.
But it's like getting up to 40 was pretty fast. Now it's like the end grind, and it takes forever.
Been there, done that in other games.
Oh yeah, same. Like, but I want to get through it. I want to finish the game at some point. And honestly, it's actually a really good game. Like, to be... so, on the 11th of November, the game turned 11 years old. And it's still really good. Like, I can see the hype for it and whatnot. It's just taking me a lot of time to get here. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing pretty alright. I haven't really watched anything. I started watching Grey's Anatomy and I'm like almost on season 3. If I haven't been spending, like, if I wouldn't have spent time with people, I would have been halfway through season 3 by now.
Really nice transition there, by the way.
I know, right?
So smooth.
Yeah.
It's just like, I would say like this, like, a lot of people are hyping it, like, oh, it's so good, oh my god. It's like, The first season was great. The second season's still pretty good. It's a little bit more drama than I appreciate. But I mean, like, it's a drama. What's it
Show.
called? What's it called? It's a drama romance, maybe? I don't know.
Oh
It's,
God.
But I mean, it's been going on for 19 seasons, and it's still pushing out episodes. Like, I have Disney Plus, and it's just like, oh, Grey's Anatomy, new episodes every Wednesday, and I'm like, fuck off! I just started.
Like, how do they come up with like plot points at this point?
So one of my friends started watching it, and she's caught up almost to the point, like almost to the end, or like where they're still like pushing out new episodes. They actually made a whole season about the corona.
Wow.
But I mean, a lot of shows used the corona like halfway through the first year of quarantine to
Yeah, I know the
No.
Good Doctor did.
yeah. But yeah, so no, I'm watching that. Other than that, I haven't watched anything because I haven't had the energy or the want to watch anything really. Like I'm just most of the time I just want to watch Grey's Anatomy and play Skyrim.
Fair.
Yeah. But yeah, have any one of you watched anything?
Zombie.
No.
No, it's not me. Here's where you come up with like, yeah, so I watched 50 movies this week. Sit back and listen to me, and it's like,
But then I need to come up with like 50 movies I haven't watched.
Jesus Christ! I failed my gay gasp. Yeah, I finally got my thumb out of my ass and watched the last couple of episodes of The Walking Dead season 9.
alright.
So I'm gonna rewatch season 4 and 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, and then I'm gonna watch season 6 of that show because I know that there will be characters from Fear the Walking Dead that will appear in season 10 of The Walking Dead. And I don't want to have any spoilers for the Fear the Walking Dead because I got some suspicions about a character dying in season 6 of that show. So when I watch those 3 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, I'm gonna continue on with season 10 of The Walking Dead. And besides that, I also sat through the 4 sequels to the main feature of this episode.
Yeah.
No.
So when you said like I'm gonna rewatch season 4 and 5, I was like, why are you gonna rewatch season 4 and 5 of The Walking Dead? Like, like
Yeah, that doesn't
It's
make
like,
any sense. But
it's like, oh yeah, I just finished season 9, but I'm gonna go back to season 4 because that was the best season. Like,
well, the thing is that Fear the Walking Dead is one of those. Well, I think that series is the series that has changed its plot basically mid-series.
alright.
Because it starts in one spot, and then in season 4 it completely changes the characters' motivations.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not going into any spoilers or anything, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, the besides The Walking Dead, the only thing I've watched is unfortunately the sequels to Death Forest.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so let's jump into
The trailer.
the trailer and then I'm gonna read the synopsis. So here comes the trailer.
したんだよ。
もう帰りたいのよ。あれ
お前ら見てないのか。あいつは今には後悔するさ。使え、あいつを止めるんだ。
A group of high school students are out in the woods camping. On their way back home, they take a turn onto a dark and narrow road, believing it is a shortcut. Unfortunately for them, the car breaks down and they become stuck. They, however, realize soon that they aren't alone when a panicked man who seems to be haunted by something turns up, and that they are all in mortal danger as the spirits of the woods creeps closer. So, I want to start this one actually. So, I was watching YouTube as you do when I was playing video games, and a YouTuber called Mr. GG. I probably have mentioned him before. I really like his videos. I watch them a lot, like stupid amounts of a lot. Like I can repeat his videos for days. He's just a very enjoyable creator, very talkative. Like he talks a lot and he's funny. And so he streamed Death Forest the game. I believe he streamed it. And then he found out that, well, there's a movie based off this game. And he reviewed the movie. I was like, or like he doesn't really review movies. He talks about them. He talks about stupid movies. And I'm like, I have to pick this one at some point. And then it's like, oh, my turn is coming up. Let's watch this. Because it looked so stupid. I was like, yeah, no, we need to talk about this. This to me is kind of like the bleeder or blödaren, as we say it in Swedish. And it's like, we need to shit talk this movie because, oh my god, is it terrible? Like, the effects are terrible, and I think like the movie could have been decent if there was a proper translation on the text.
Yeah.
Because, for example, at one point, they're like, one of the girls, I believe it's the main girl, talks about that, oh, I need to, like, really, really go to the bathroom, like, I'm about to piss myself, basically, and when they knock on this woman's door, and it's like, hey, can we rent a pool? And I'm like, she needed to take a fucking piss. She needed to take a piss, and you want to rent a pool? And then, like, in the next scene, they're sitting at a table eating. I'm like, where's the pool? Where is the pool? Come on.
Yeah, like the translation we had of this movie was so bad that at some point you might as well not have it because it confused the whole movie more to have a translation than to not.
Well, I'll let you know that the translation gets even worse in the sequels. I think it was surprised. In part 2 there were long stretches of dialogue where there were no subs, so I was just sitting staring at the TV like, okay, what's going on? What are they saying? And I think it was in part 4 and 5, there were extra words before, in between, after, and when there were no dialogue, it was just saying yes, 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 and yeah, that's right, and yeah, yes, that's right, and things like that.
Wow.
And it didn't have anything to do with the dialogue. I don't know what the heck was going on with the subtitles. And for those who wondered, the subtitle was auto-generated from YouTube, because the only place you can really watch the movies are on YouTube for now. But on the other hand, I don't think that proper subtitles would have enhanced the movie that much, to be honest. I mean, watching all 5 Death Forest films back to back was an experience, I'll tell you. And it was not a good one. I mean, I think the creature effects looked, at a first glance, you know, they looked a bit creepy. Especially the makeup for the, I think they're called strangers in the game. I looked it up, but I've forgotten what their name is. But the more of them you see, the less effective they are, especially in the later installments in the series. And the whole movie is just boring. All 5 of them are just boring, and they make not a lot of sense, any of them. And I don't know if they would make more sense if you got proper subs or if you understand Japanese. But I mean, how they managed to make a movie that clocks in just over an hour this fucking boring is an accomplishment. I mean, nothing happens until about the halfway point of the film, and when things start to happen, it's not exciting nor scary in the slightest.
It's such a calm horror movie.
It's a boring horror movie, and the worst sin, especially a horror movie can do, is being boring. And Death Forest is, I mean, I would say that all of the Death Forest movies are the movie equivalent to getting chewing gum in your eyes. It's slow, it's boring, and annoying as fuck to sit through, and there are tons of other good bad movies out there which is much more worth your time than this.
I really do want to like this movie. I do, because to some degree, the head at some point really do unnerve me. But at the same time, it is so slow, the way things happen. And most of the kills are very ineffective of being scary.
I mean, the tall things, like the tall humanoids, they creeped me out more than anything else. Like the smile and just like the eyes.
That's actually one thing that the sequels got better. Because the makeup looks better in the sequels. But that's pretty much it.
I mean, it's like, it made it kind of crawl under my skin a little bit, whilst the massive head, that was just it was a little bit creepy at first when it what's it called, when it just like started turning around, basically. That creeped me out a little bit, but then it's like, this is just stupid. And it's like, and when it just swooshes down and eats that one guy, like, okay then.
For me, it unnerved me when it just, with a girl, just silently approached her. I think they could have done that a bit faster, or like made the distance smaller, because just seeing it like appear silently and not have it be like a loud jump scare, but being a visual one, seeing it like slowly approached. I think that is kind of like, and in the beginning when it silently just appeared out of the darkness, that that worked on me. Like, not necessarily to scare me, at least the second time, but just not seeing it like in detail, like when they shine the light on it, but having it appear silent, fast, so you don't always necessarily have the chance to like comprehend what just happened. And if they had focused more on that with the head and like not gave it attention, sure, but not give it attention in that you need to see all of it. You don't necessarily need to see all of the murdering it does. Like you can like maybe make it not visual, but maybe like with the way they did with the first humanoid that they showed, make you hear what it does.
Yeah. And that's like, gone.
I don't really know what else to say. And like the deaths weren't really interesting per se. Because one was off screen where you just saw his hand, and two were with the head. One where you didn't see it happen, you know what happened. And the other one were like, yeah, it was gruesome and it was different, but at that point it felt like it was just so isolated from the other deaths. So it was so long between all deaths that it was just 3 of them.
Yeah.
I feel like with the monsters they had, they could have done not necessarily like a big amount of more, but just more. And they didn't use background sounds and music that much either, which was a bit sad because it could have...
like it was a very quiet movie.
Yeah, like,
but something that I'll get annoyed with was like the audio going up and down. Like sometimes it was loud, sometimes it was quiet, and like you could notice when they retook scenes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the cutting wasn't good.
No.
I didn't pick up on that, but on the other hand, I was so fucking bored by the film that I barely could concentrate on it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
Like,
and
it was so obvious.
And I think I know why there wasn't that much music, or the plot wasn't really developed and everything, because the game came out in July of 2014, I think, and the movie was released on December 20th in 2014. So they made a movie and put the effects in and cut it and everything in what, like 6 months?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it just feels like some points of the movie that could have been like intense, lost that due to the silence. Like, they didn't have to do like a lot. Sometimes just small sounds in the background can do a lot, or like just barely like audible sounds can do like such a big difference.
Yeah, a good example of that
And
is when John Carpenter showed a executive producer his rough cut of Halloween
yeah,
without the music, and the producer said, "This isn't scary." And later on, when he had put on the music on the film and showed it again, the producer was, well, the producer liked it a lot more.
yeah, like sounds make such a difference.
Yeah.
And I think that the movie also would have done better if it was longer, if they could have made some scenes longer, like delved more into them than what they did. Because
Honestly,
they
like,
could have made them more sinister, or like nerve-wracking.
something I thought about the movie is definitely like if I understood Japanese, I would probably enjoy the movie more. Even though like it's probably not a lot of like how to say it like the story is probably not that thick basically.
Yeah, like if it might not have made it go from like a 5 to a 10, but it could have like removed the confusion from one aspect to the other,
yeah.
because it's more frustrating to be confused due to not properly understand what they are saying and not getting the gravity of what's happening, rather than being confused of what they are saying, in a
Yeah.
sense of like, what the fuck do you mean that these smiley dudes can only come if people are here via vehicles? Like, what does that mean? Like, that's obviously not what is happening in the movie, but that would have, like, if they said that and I didn't understand it, I would have been frustrated, because what does all of these facial expressions mean? And sure, you can read body language a lot, but there's a limit. And then the frustration of not understanding the meaning of what they are saying. If you
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah, no, it's like it felt like a fucking suffer fiesta, but at the same time, like the movie passed pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's like it was over almost as fast as I played it, basically. And one of my comments is, truly only Japan makes movies like this. I mean, if we look at As the Gods Will, but I mean, that one was good next to this one.
As the Gods Will were a fucking 10 out of 10 compared to this shit. But yeah, that was a good one. It was. But
Like, it's really is a hit and miss sometimes with these movies.
Yeah, it's not. This one was honestly just terrible.
Yeah. Unfortunately so. One could have wished it was better, but it wasn't. And again, I really want the movie to be good because it has aspects to be scary if done right. Because the ghost in it, the ghosts, or like the pale humanoids and the head, in the right circumstances and whatnot, sure, they can be a bit silly, but they can also be very unnerving due to their like constant smile on their faces and their like weird proportions, like the big teeth on the head, and how you can't necessarily make sense of what makes up the smiling face of the humanoids. And yeah, it's unfortunate that the translation isn't good enough and that they didn't necessarily have the means to make it more than it were.
Yeah. I mean, like, it might actually have been a half decent movie if, I don't know, had a bigger budget.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't rushed into production.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
I look at this, or rather these movies, like the Asian version of cheap budget movies that are getting pumped out just to fill
A quota.
yeah, sort of like we got in the West.
Yeah.
You know, there's tons of movies that gets released to DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming services, and
Yeah.
the Death Forest movies feels like the Asian answer to that. I mean, they're not supposed to be high art or really anything else than a cash grab on a probably popular game.
Yeah. And I tried to look up a different one to see if there was one out there with a better translation than the one we watched. And what I found out is like this movie, or rather this movie and the series as a whole, does have oddly enough, a big fan base, or big. It does have a lot of people that like actively seek out these movies because they think they are good. And yeah, to some degree, I do understand that. Like, maybe if you have watched a gameplay or played the game itself, it might be different in how you view the whole movie and whatnot, or it may as well be a, what do you call it, a guilty pleasure.
Mm. I mean, this, yeah.
No, I was gonna go on a tangent that ended up nowhere. Please do continue.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like this would definitely be someone's guilty pleasure. It's just like, oh god, it's
Like,
so, it's bad.
In a tiny bit, like in a small corner of my head, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Not that I actively will go back to watch it. At least not until I have a good translation of it. I will not watch it. But yeah, one can only wish.
Eh.
Well, time to watch the rest of them.
Fuck no, I'm not touching the other ones with a fucking 10-foot pole. Like,
I thought this was gonna be the start of a new series we were watching.
Alright, so we lost Zombie. Yeah, so anyways, Joseph, what did you think?
So rude.
What
So
I
rude.
think? What the fuck? I think I've been pretty obvious with what I think about this shit. Or thorough, I mean.
I was sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
We really need to update that joke, by the way. But yeah, it's... I mean, I almost wanna forgive the last Thanksgiving and make it come back instead of watching this again.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'd rather watch this five more times.
I'd rather watch a sequel to that piece of shit than rewatching any of the sequels to this. Because it's... Oh. And another funny thing with this movie is that you sorta have to watch the sequels to get the whole story, because this movie ends really abruptly, and the sequels doesn't really pick up where the last movie ended, but it got one character that reappears in each and every done.
You didn't even notice.
What?
You've been babbling on there, and zombie has like moved you to general.
Wow. Thanks.
Good talk. But yeah. Fuck Thanksgiving movies. But other than that, have any of you two played the game?
No, fuck no. Not touching it with a stick. Apparently the controls are terrible. And it's very similar to like Silent Hill, where you don't really know where you're going.
Okay.
I watched a speed run of it. And it looks a bit like Slender, the 8 pages or whatever the fuck that game is called.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
At least the original, I think.
Yeah, the indie title. There's a quote-unquote bigger, like a AA game called Slender Man, I think. But the original indie game is called something like Slender, the 8 pages or something. But yeah, I watched a speed run of The Forest, and it looked like that game, and yeah, I'm not interested in those type of games. Especially not when you meet a monster and music starts to play, and when you run away from the monster, the music stops to play, and you hear the music in the distance.
Yeah, kind of to indicate where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like overall, I didn't enjoy the movie at all. I thought it was kind of hard watching it, to be honest.
So, with other words, you just picked it because you hate us.
Yes. And I already knew you had a bad week. That's also why I picked it, so you would have an even worse week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
You can always count on family.
I'll pat myself on the shoulder for this one. Good job. Good job, Blue. Nah, it's just like, I don't know, like, I just picked this because Mr. GD was talking about it, and it's like, like, why not? Like, it's interesting.
I mean, like I've said a bunch of times to you guys, we shouldn't just review good movies.
No, exactly.
So,
like every movie isn't gonna be a 10 out of 10,
No.
9 out of 10.
no.
Like, this is garbage. Like, I couldn't even fucking
Like
give it a 1.
that would get boring so fast, though. Like,
Yeah.
like, what you thought of this movie? It was good. Yeah. Like, and then just do a circle jerk of the movie to see what you liked about it,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
and the occasional discourse of someone thinking otherwise. So it's good to have like these cleansing palettes of bad movies
Oh, yeah, for real.
truly appreciate the good ones.
Yeah.
Nope. Banned. I had a cat.
Oh.
Oh! Sorry, I'm reading a different conversation. Is it?
But yeah, do continue.
I don't know. Do we actually have anything more to say about this movie?
So little happened in the movie,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, it how they managed to
And
make the movie, and it's just over an hour long, and how they managed to make it so fucking boring is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And like, what also made it bad, I think, is that you don't truly know where some of the settings are. They at some point part ways and go through different tunnels. And then one is at an old abandoned like factory of some kind. And like how they get there, like did they see it? They could have expanded more on how they found it, so you know what distance it is from the car. So when you see like them running there, because the girl runs there I think 2 separate times, and at one point she was supposedly following the dude, and like he found his bike that was fairly closer than one would think because of like how fast he got it, despite seeing the characters drive by it a way past before that. So you really don't truly have a sense of distance, and by that you don't also have a sense of like, how should I say, the way they exert themselves, how much they have to fight to get to that point because of how far away it is, the sense of urgency, and that also disappears with you don't know where they are.
They use teleportation, of course.
Else. Yeah, they must have. And like, they aren't in a lot of different places either, and they don't necessarily explore the places they are in because of how things happen, and I feel like they could have get more shots of them exploring the factory and having like different shots like of the things in the background not doing anything, but you can see them if you like pay attention, have a sense of dread when they like explore the thing and everything else. And yeah, so like the environment were not well placed either, due to the lack of like proper knowledge where anything is in relation to anything else.
I kind of like want an answer on what these things are. It's like, what is the head? What? I mean, like, the creatures that are walking, I mean, you can definitely say that, like, they can be some form of, like, demon or inbred or something like that. But the head, what the fuck is the head?
Well, in the end, it kind of looked like the head was supposed to be, like, the ghost of someone that most likely died. Because you can see a photo that looks like the head at the very end.
Yeah.
And like, to some degree, it's like, the mystery is that you don't know where they come from and whatnot. But to have like, an explanation of one thing that makes you maybe think of another, because it might as well be, like, it most likely isn't, that the head was the one that started the whole thing, and by the head eating you, whatever remains of you becomes this monster that accompanies it, like this pale thing or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah, that would have made more sense than what the sequels tried to do, at least. Because if you want to get the whole story, you kinda have to watch the sequels. Like I said, when Zombie removed me from the fucking call.
Well, they will get it because of the recording. We just won't react to it.
But
yeah,
I mean, the sequels doesn't really answer anything. They try to do a bunch of other stuff. But there is a character that shows up in all of the sequels as well.
But there is some spookiness or whatnot to the lack of knowledge to everything, but at the same time it would be nice to have like some, like, not a spelled out thing, but just a more than what they gave us, essentially. Like simply ghosts, and this is how some ghosts are formed, this is how some ghosts are formed. Then what are these ghosts? Like, well, fuck if I know, but I know about these ghosts, and which makes you think like, so ghosts can be formed in different ways. Well, that can get your mind going. Without actually explaining what they are, it kinda expanded the world in a way that you can think for yourself of what they are, and get a sense of dread that the world doesn't know and you don't know, but rather than you just not knowing.
Well, sometimes a lack of explanation can work, and
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't. And this is one of the cases where it doesn't.
Yeah, very much so. I think it is a bit due to how specific the monsters are. And the scenario they're in, where you have these big smiling pale people and a big floating head with teeth that eats people, and both are sensitive to light in some way, where the pale things doesn't move it if they are in direct light, such as the headlamps.
Sort of like the reversal of the nurses in Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the explanation might be in the dialogues.
They might be, which is, in that case, unfortunate.
Yeah. But I mean, what can we do? It is what it is.
I don't think necessarily at the very least, the game Silent Hill, you don't get 100% explanation of everything there.
No.
And it still works, because it feels complete and it feels like it belongs. Because everything belongs where it does, because you get this whole other place where they all are.
Yeah.
So you don't need to know the specifics of things, because, well, this place is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if the explanation of like this exists in the dialogue, but they could have said that part of the forest was cursed. And that could have explained without explaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've said my piece, and I've talked way longer than I want.
Honestly, I've talked way longer about this movie than I thought we would. Like, we're going in about an hour right now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So honestly, like, let's talk about the other stuff. Yes.
We haven't reviewed it.
Reviewed it.
I
That's
meant,
just
like,
what we did.
On a scale from 1 to 10, review it.
You mean rating?
Yes.
You mean
Shut up.
that one thing we're not gonna do because no one of us liked the movie, and like, no.
Well, the rating for me is pretty obvious. It's a 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I think you guys will give it a 1 out of 10 as well, right?
Like, I don't even want to give it a 1. I don't want to rate it. It's so bad.
Actually, I'm gonna give it a 3.
What?
Simply because...
Alright, honestly, like, we don't want him here anymore. He can go buy...
the head unnerves me, okay?
Well, what's your motivation to that rating, Zombie?
No, we do not get a motivation on this. He is no longer a part of this podcast, because if you can even give that movie a higher rating than a 1, you have bad taste in movies.
It's still a 3 only.
Yeah, but
it's
I
only
want to
good.
hear your motivation to that
Yes,
rating.
explain
It is-
yourself. How dare you have a good rating on this movie?
It's not because I think the movie is good, but it's simply because of those few scenes where the head unnerved me, such as in the beginning when it appeared through the darkness out of nothing, and how it just silently approached the girl. It wasn't like perfectly done, and it could have been much better, but still, just the sheer size of it and how it just came at the characters so silently for its size, because you would expect it to make noise, but it just arrived, and that in a way unnerved me. Simply because the design of the thing it sits wrong with me in a way that is fearful. Because if that thing arrived at me silently, I would have shit myself, to be honest. And yeah, that and purely that is why I give it a 3. And for the wish that it could have been better. The concept was there. And that is what I would commend. That it was.
The concept was there, but the execution sucked ass. Is that what
it was terrible because the monsters were I've never seen anything like that before. Sure, zombie-esque things, but the design of them and the head.
Yeah, like I said, the effects at the first glance looks pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the more you see of them, the less effective they are.
Yeah, especially the more you show of it.
Yeah.
And I think in case of the head, less is more. Such as the beginning where you didn't really have time to understand what happened and then just get this reaction rather than having time to react and then, oh, that is my motivation for my 3. Not because the movie was in any capacity good. Still better than that Halloween movie, I would say.
Halloween movie?
No, not Halloween. Not Thanksgiving movie.
No. The last Thanksgiving was 10 out of 10 compared to this shit.
Because in this one, I didn't have any characters that I wished death upon. It is my motivation also.
Fair.
At least in the main characters. And that is also... It's not hard to do, to make characters that you don't actively cheer for if they die. I feel. But yeah. I totally get why this movie's success.
Alright. So, does anyone have any background on this movie?
I dug up a couple of things. Like I usually do. We already talked about the game, and the game apparently takes place in Aokigahara, which is more commonly known as the suicide forest in Japan. And I don't know if they say or mention anything about that forest in the film.
It doesn't look like it.
If they do it, but
it's not translated yet.
Yeah.
Because that would have made more sense if they put the plot in the forest and these things that starts to attack them is the lost souls of people that has committed suicide.
Yeah.
That would have made the plot a lot more make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But
Like these people coming and wandering in our final resting place.
yeah,
Kind of deal.
or something.
Yeah, and depending on how severe the cause of your death, the different way you become a ghost. And whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe. Now, I might be out riding a bike somewhere in bumfuck nowhere, but I believe people think the Suicide Forest is cursed, but I don't really know. Here's actually a website. Let's see here.
I think they are very superstitious. Some people.
Oh, I mean, all of honestly, like all of Asia is yes.
Superstitious.
Yeah,
Especially when it comes to like spirits.
Oh
and
god, yeah.
ghosts and whatnot, because due to the like sheer number of different kinds and types of ghosts that exist.
Yeah, and urban legends.
Yeah.
Oh man. When you enter it, there's a sign in both Japanese and English preventing people against the suicide. One sign is in entrance reads, "Your life is something precious that was given to you by your parents," while other one states, "Meditate on your parents, siblings, and your children. Once more, do not be troubled alone. The exact number of suicides committed here in a year is unknown, as the police discontinued publishing this data. The last time it was made public was in 2003, when 105 confirmed suicide took place. There's a graph showing the data between 1998 and 2003. So it's from 98 to 2003. 73, 68, 59, 59, 78, and 105. And considering that the police doesn't really put out that much information about it, it's probably a lot more, but
Yeah. It's a very sensitive topic, so that might be why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard about it being cursed, but I've heard that people believe that the forest is haunted, which kind of makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
They kind of go hand in hand.
So I was looking up this. A movie released last year, Yukai Mura, in English called Suicide Forest Village. It's a Japanese horror movie. Yeah, no, I was probably just out biking in the woods by myself there, because I thought I read somewhere about it being cursed, but I don't know. I might be.
It might as well been, because I think it being haunted and it being cursed goes very well together.
Yeah, considering how many spirits would be resting there, yeah.
Yeah. And a curse wouldn't be uncommon in such a place, I would say.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways. Moving on with background. I didn't dig up that much because I couldn't really find that much. The film was produced by Copyrights Factory and Nihon Skyway NSW. Copyrights Factory produced Death Force 2 together with NSW, and they also produced Kuchisake Ono, which is the slit-mouthed woman. I watched a bunch of movies based on that urban legend, and most of them are terrible. Kuchisake Ono versus Madison in 2017, and its sequel, Kuchisake Ono vs. Kashima-san 2, which is the second sequel to Kuchisake Ono vs. Mary-san. The first sequel being Kuchisake Ono versus Kashima-san, which was produced by some other company, I don't know why. Neon Skyway produced all of the Death Forest films besides Part 3, which was produced by PAL Entertainment's production. And that's pretty much everything I could find about this film.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Did you have any background on this one, Blue?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So with that said, the next pick is the Christmas special. Like, fuck me, it felt like we just started this year and it's already ending.
Oh yeah.
So we're watching Silent Night 2021 and The Toys of Terror 2020. With that said, let's say goodbye to the good people.
Goodbye, good people. Thank you for listening.
We are playing out with the music from the game Death Forest, by the way. And thanks for listening, and we are hopefully seeing you in the next episode.
Goodbye, good folks. Remember that you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We also have a Discord server that you can join and chat with us all. And if you haven't pressed the red button under the video, you should go do that. And if you listen on Mixcloud, I don't really know where it is, but remember to come back, subscribe, whatever. Check out. We really hope we see you in the next episode. Have a good one, good folks.